Welcome back. WN here, and other than talking a little bit about Adam Jones and the Orioles, I don't know any reason why we wouldn't be talking about Ray Lewis, and you'll have plenty of time to talk about Lamar Jackson after Thursday as well. This guy hosts radio here each and every Thursday from 3 until 5. It is the SSV on WNST. You can follow him out on Twitter. You can find him out at Coons Florida Security Boulevard, and probably find him in a Ray Lewis jersey this week. You own a Ray Lewis jersey, right, Dan?
I think all true hardcore Ravens fans, I own multiple Ray Lewis jerseys. I have a white one, I have a purple one, I have a black one. Look, one of the all-time great football players, regardless of position, and strong argument for the best inside linebacker in NFL history, bar none.
Well, we're going to be hearing whatever argument for or against that all this week, but I'm trying to take this back, and this would be a great week to take phone calls, right? I don't do that here anymore because I don't want to sit and argue with people all day. The internet's bad enough, right? But this will be one of those weeks where if I took phone calls all week from people like you that are fans, people like me sitting in the upper deck, I'm mainly doing teammates this week of Ray because they're 500 of those guys I've reached to this week that want to come on and tell their stories. But everyone has a Ray Lewis story. Every Raven fan owes Ray a debt of gratitude for whatever the Ravens are. Good, bad, ugly. You hate them if you're from Pittsburgh or Cleveland or wherever. But if you're from here and you have ever had anything to do with the Ravens, Ozzie Newsome would be a reason for that. Art Modell, David Modell, sort of those prime mover guys. Brian, obviously a big part of that in the early going as well. But no one touched this organization or changed this organization like Ray Lewis.
Yeah, no question about it. You talk about moving a franchise and starting off with two Hall of Famers, first ballot Hall of Famers in John Ogden and Ray Lewis. I mean, that set the tone for the entire franchise. It got the city fired up. It put fannies in the seats. It got us down to the stadium, and to win the Super Bowl 4 years later, and just the entrance, the dances, the speeches, and
which we missed, by the way. When all that was going on, we're like, we're going to miss this when it's gone. Yeah, we're going to miss the parades too.
Yeah, no question about it, Nestor. He was in, and like you have been watching a lot of film on him lately, and you see the clips and the sound bites. He was just such a transformational, generational football player. Incredible. And the huddle on the sideline, very, very entertaining, very enthusiastic. And in his prime, I mean, he was just a magnificent physical specimen to boot. And what he did for the organization, look, he transformed the entire franchise and lit a fire under the city. United everybody, too. It was great for civic pride. We all took pride in our Ravens and who they were and how hard they played. And just an iconic player for sure.
Very complex, right? I mean, we're not even to the beginning of the week, and the Baltimore Sun's already brought back the murders from Atlanta. That's part of the story, right? Marlon Barnes, part of the story, playing in Miami, being undersized, talking to Phil Savage about all that, talking to, the Marvin Lewises and the Jim Schwartzes about what they found in this kid, and Ernest Biner this way. I mean, everyone has stories around him, but it really has been like a movie, right? My mind is very, very clear on walking into Memorial Stadium in that locker room after we beat the Raiders in my Get Nasty shirt, literally wearing the hat that's on my head. And then I know you've been seeing this. This hat is the John Ogden hat that came from John Ogden and Eddie Carroll off the table in 1996 at the Felt Forum, the day they were drafted. And, from that moment where he said, hey, buddy, hand me those clippers over there. You want me to come out to the barn? Yeah, buddy. What time you need me? All right, buddy, I'll be there tomorrow night. And then the next day, hey, buddy, where's this barn again? I need directions, man. And there's no Google Maps in 1996. And, Ray Lewis walks into the barn that night. And to think that on Saturday night I'm going to be there, under the stars, 2 championships, all these memories, all these relationships, people like you, sponsors, the reason we're in business at WNST. Boy, if the Ravens would have been the Indianapolis Colts or the Arizona Cardinals at that time or some godforsaken Jacksonville Jaguar franchise, and we didn't win championships here, and we drafted Lawrence Phillips or Leland McElroy or, whatever. I mean, it's really been a remarkable story, and I take incredible stock in this on Saturday as we're taking 4 busloads of people out about what this represents and how lucky we've been as local fans to have all of this be a part of our lives. And I don't just mean the football part, I mean the relationship part.
Yeah, no question about it, Nestor. He put not only the team on his back, he put the city on his back. And again, when you watch the film and just the attitude, the leadership, telling the other players from the opposing team to get off the field, completely disrespectful towards all of the offenses he faced, and also showing the compassion when a player got hurt from either team, and the spirituality in him reaching out and becoming a mentor to young players at the latter part of his career. As you mentioned, it's been a great journey, a great movie. And look, it's uneven at times. There's certainly things that were great at times, but you know what? He overcame them all, and I'm looking forward to his Hall of Fame speech. It's fitting that he's going to be the last recipient of his plaque and his bust and everything else. I just can't wait to hear what the man has to say. You can bet it's going to be moving. It's going to be telling, and hopefully we'll hear some stories that we haven't heard before.
You always lament baseball, and you sort of make fun of baseball and say you don't go to the games and all that. This weekend, I watched the Baseball Hall of Fame, right? And, obviously my cousin's got a plaque up there. Everybody knows my love of baseball my whole life and 30 ballparks and all that stuff that I've done. I sat all day Sunday. I didn't watch a game, the Oriole game. I sat and watched all the speeches. And, there's Eddie Murray sitting next to Brooks Robinson, sitting next to Johnny Bench, and all the Baltimore connections. And there's Jim Palmer up on stage, and Cal Ripken and all that stuff. And Vladimir Guerrero gave like a 30-second speech in Spanish and said thank you very much. Was never known for talking, right? Jack Morris, a guy who was never known for speaking to anybody, bawling up on the days. And then there's Ray Lewis. But aside from football and dancing, speaking's what he was known for. So, I think the part of the Ray Lewis thing is we know he's going to dance, but the speech is something that really feels like a must-see thing. I think there's a lot of anticipation for his speech, and I don't know that we always say that about athlete. We weren't that way with John Ogden. Like, what's John going to say? John's going to be sincere. He's going to thank people. I love John, and I have a better relationship with John than I do with Ray through all of these years. I feel differently about John, especially with my wife's illness and how he would send texts checking in on her and whatnot. But there's something about Ray's speech that is going to be one of the most anticipated speeches in the history of Hall of Fame speeches as well.
There's no doubt about it, Nestor. He will, just like his career, he's going to take us on a journey. He's going to take us on a journey from beginning to the end, to where he's at now, and how he's progressing as a man, as a human being. And look, just like Muhammad Ali said, if a man looks at himself at 25 when he's 50 and he's learned nothing, he's wasted 25 years of his life. I think Ray Lewis, I'm pretty sure, has learned a lot. Not just about being a football player, but about being a man, living, and also giving back. So like you, I'm waiting to hear what he has to say. And look, the relationship he has with players around the league, you can just tell how much respect that he is, how much love he is, and still young players throughout the league still reach out to him, they still text him, they still ask him for advice. Hey Ray, what would you do? And I think that's where he developed, and I'm glad he's still tight with Steve Bisciotti and the organization. I'm glad he didn't go play for the Cowboys for a couple of years. He didn't taint his legacy, and I'm glad he spent all that time, 17 years here as a Raven. We certainly all have benefited from his presence in our city.
Well, Ed Reed's going to run around in the Hall of Fame very, very soon, and we're not going to remember the Jets or the Texans or any of that stuff for him. And I am glad Ray went out the way. And the story of the confetti, and before I talked to you today, literally earlier, I've been sharing pictures of Ray that I have, and I have a bunch of them. But he came over to our set in 2009 in Tampa and sat down with us for about 25 minutes, and I found the video of it up on YouTube. And I would encourage anyone to go and check that out. And I'm going to share them again this week. And I don't have the audio version of it. I mean, I have the video, so it's a little noisier. So I don't know if I'm actually going to run it on the radio. But, in talking to him about his legacy, and that was the tender moment where he was either going to go somewhere else or not. And he came by and talked about it, and when it's going to happen, all the spiritual stuff that he would say. And now that I look back on it, 9 years later, it's crazy to think that he would ever have left, right? I mean, especially with what was accomplished here in the end, and the confetti, and all he talked about was the confetti. And I know I wrote about that in Purple Rain 2 as well. And I'm trying to go back this week. I've shared my Purple Rain 1 chapter. I'm going to share my Purple Rain 2 chapter. There's going to be stories here you're going to hear on the radio of him sitting down with me and Peter Boulware in 1997, me and him and Rod Woodson in 1998. I'm going to run all of that. But the confetti and the way that he went out, like Peyton Manning on the orange horse and like Jerome Bettis in his hometown, boy, that's a script you can't write. I mean, it's a movie. It really is.
Well, it's a movie, particularly when during the playoff he says on a podium, "Hey, fellas, this is my last ride." I'm not sure he had shared it with anyone when he said that. I don't know if John Harbaugh even knew about it when that's the story that I got, that he just rolled up there and said, "Listen, by the way," and he and John had a conversation, and again, that's hearsay. I don't know if it really happened or not, but John's like, "Hey, what was that? What was up with that?" I'm like, well, this is it, man. This is how I'm going out. I'm going to put the team on my back, and we're going to win the Super Bowl. And Nestor, I do believe that second Super Bowl really cemented and sealed his legacy. As I mentioned before, a lot of players have won, a ton have zero, but to get a second ring, I think really cemented his legacy as the best inside linebacker in NFL history.
Dennis Koulatsos is our guest. He, of course, is out at Coons Ford Security Boulevard, ready to sell you a new or pre-loved vehicle, and you can find him, of course, on Thursdays from 3 until 5, doing the SSV on WNST. Also, the way to find him on Twitter. That's the Sunday Sports Voice, now heard on Thursdays, also heard on Sundays as we get ready for football season around here, and the Hall of Fame night, and the coronation of Ray Lewis. Anything you want to say on the Lamar Jackson thing? Because I know we're going to talk about it on Thursday before the game as well, but there is an anticipation for the whole weekend, whether you're getting on the bus. And by the way, Dan, look, man, I think that you could take the weekend off, come out to camp with us this weekend. I still got room on the bus. I know you want to be there. I mean, we're running the Saturday bus, so you could do a one-dayer if you wanted to. But beginning on Thursday night, it's going to be a purple week. This is the most purple weekend we've ever had in early August. No disrespect to John Ogden, but playing in the game, the kid that's going to be playing in the game on Thursday night. Football season starts a little early and not a minute too soon after this whole Adam Jones, Manny Machado, Zach Britton Orioles fiasco, right?
Absolutely, Nestor. And I already have my number 8 Lamar Jackson jersey. And
do you?
Course, I do. I have one already. It's a black jersey with the purple number 8. And it's good to see that number again. The last time I saw it in prominence was with Trent Dilfer. And look, Lamar has fired up the entire organization from top to bottom. Offense, defense, and special teams. It's must-see television. I can't remember the last time that I wanted to so desperately watch a preseason game. I mean, think about it, the interest, not just on the local level, but a national level. Everybody wants to see this collegiate phenom to see how his game translates into the pro game. And look, I can't wait to 8 p.m. Thursday to watch this game.
Well, there'll be a lot of running around going out on the carpet, and a lot of Ravens fans headed out to Canton, Ohio this weekend. Dennis will be here on Thursday to send us off. I'll be checking in. Luke will be checking in as well as we get ready for Saturday night and all things Ray Lewis and all things football season. This is we've done a lot of things around here, Dennis, right? We've had rebuilds, we've had Super Bowls, we've had draft picks, but this quarterback thing and the Hall of Fame weekend, we've never done this one. This is a new one to check off the box. So it's going to be a fun weekend out in Ohio.
Yeah, that's why we love sports so much, Nestor. You can't script this stuff. Real life is a lot more interesting than movies a lot of times.
Better than movies, as Charlie Ekman would say, right?
Better than movies, absolutely. That's why we love it so much.
What's going on at Coons Ford Security Boulevard? Tell everybody what's happening out there, because I know it's some summertime, and this is where you get to talk about convertibles. We're not at the heated seats or the heated steering wheel period of time, but we are at the frosty AC.
Yep, frosty AC and drop tops. That's the name of the game right now. Mustangs are just flying off the shelf here at Coons Ford of Baltimore as we're in the middle of our summer sale. While my competitors are away on vacation and doing whatever, we're here grinding. We're just selling cars like crazy, advertising like crazy, and everybody at WNST, we just never stop grinding. We're always looking for the next deal. And not only the Mustangs flying off the shelf, also the F-150s and all the big trucks and the vans, which tells me that business is good out there. Builders and contractors, they're building homes, they're building office buildings, and the economy's strong, at least in this area. We're very, very thankful for it.
You just gave me the greatest idea in the world, Dan. I mean, do you know we celebrate our 20th anniversary on Friday morning? Did you know that?
I do. That's props to you. That's fantastic.
Well, we've been double. So when I took over the station in '98, it was WKDB for Kids Broadcasting, right? So I applied for the FCC license to change the call letters, right? Like WJFK AM was WFBR back in the day, and of course you remember that as well, right? So I petition the FCC, and it's a couple $100. It's not a big deal, but the call letters have to be available. And I asked for WNST, and they're like, there's an FM in Charleston, South Carolina, WNST. You can't have the FM, but the AM is available. So, yeah, you can do that. So send us a check. So now 20 years in, I think I'm going to change the name. Like IHOP went to the burgers. Remember that? We're going to go to WNSG. We never stop grinding.
There you go. I like that.
You've given me that one, so I'm going to use that.
Always grinding. It's always a pleasure. Thank you, Nestor.
That's going to be our new gimmick. We'll see you over the weekend.
Like
Dennis Koulatsos, he'll be here Thursday, 3 until 5. It is the SSV on WNST and WNSG, where we never stop grinding. The morning newspaper delivers to your email inbox each and every morning at 7 a.m. It's all brought to you by Planet Fitness, where it's still $10 a month to get in the best shape of your life. You can do that as well as our friends at Laurel. The Maryland Jockey Club sponsoring our morning newspaper, as well as that on the front of WNST.net for all of their entries in the air-conditioned, comfy confines of Laurel Race Park down in Laurel. That's 2 Charlie Ekman references in one segment. That's pretty good, Coach. Nasty at WNST.net finds me from anywhere in the world. And as we mentioned with Dennis, they sponsor our WNST tech service. So if any more dealing to be done, any more Ravens news heading into the weekend and certainly into the season, the WNST tech service is our best service, and it's all brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. I am Nestor. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore sports.